Let's go. God,
You gonna pop a vein doing that one day, sir.
hopefully not.
That's how it starts, sir.
My doctor says okay. I looked both ways. He said it was okay.
No, it's an apple a day keep the doctor away. Not screaming to knock your veins out, sir. That's just not how it
works. How is your day today? You had a beautiful day? I know you had a beautiful Sunday.
That was everything been good. Everything's been good. It's been pretty quiet. Towards holiday season, everything gets really, really quiet, slows down a lot. A lot of shopping goes down, so a lot of family time for a lot of people. You know, this is the season to eat. We got Black Friday coming up, Cyber Monday. Markets is booming, hit another record again. So it is what it is, man. Everything is going well. We got transitioning team coming in January to clean up the country. Woo. All kind of beautiful things.
Are they going to drain out the swamp again?
We don't know what's going to happen, but that's their goal is to clean up the country, sir. I'm not saying that they are going to. I'm saying the goal, sir.
Well, you know, the aliens, they confirming that the aliens was down in Miami at the mall.
At the port of Miami with Ross?
Yeah, they said the aliens was actually there, and, you know, so they trying to figure that out now.
They didn't catch him. But did they catch one?
They caught one. And they admitted that the U.S. government admitted they said, yeah, we got an alien body. It's okay.
Is it the one with the green eye, like the green little oval head shape with the black eyes?
They asked him, but he said he couldn't say. He said, but they got him.
And they couldn't tell us. So we had got to be paranoid about what's out there in these UFO streets, but they're not gonna give us the updated information.
They just letting us know that they out there. They live among us.
So we don't got G5 clearance?
No, not at all. I was like, this is crazy. I'm not watching this. I was like, I'm definitely not watching this. I was like, nope, turning this off. This is too much. This is like a movie. This is not real life. It can be. How's this real life?
I just need to see if they're bigger and stronger than us. Because if they not, man, I'm gonna hit one of them up for the lottery numbers. Like, what's the winning lottery numbers?
It's gonna go like this to your ass. You like,
That's crazy if they can really do that.
Yeah, that would be.
I don't think they can. I just think they just drive different vehicles.
And you know, it's by antimatter, so you know.
I never made it to science class, so that don't even matter.
Damn. What's up, Orchard? What up, Angry Snowman? Good day to you, sir.
Why is a snowman always angry?
I don't know.
Have you noticed that?
I don't know, but they are. I mean, if you think about it, I'd be kind of angry if I was a snowman too.
Can you make snowmen out in New York?
Not in the past 5 years. No, in the past 5 years, we have not got enough snow. Absolutely not.
Yeah,
it's turning into Florida over here.
Well, I don't know about that. The politics is different, but I can understand how there's some shift a little bit there because y'all always getting in trouble anyway.
No, I'm talking about the climate change, and you know how the North Pole is shifting over to Russia now, so it's giving us a whole different climate over here.
Yeah, no, I don't know nothing about that. No. I'm a simple Californian man, okay? So we got water, we got rain, we ain't got no snow over in the northern part of this California here.
What about in Napa?
No.
That's in California? I don't know.
It is in California. That's Wine County over there. So like
okay.
There's this guy I know. He moves a lot of wine. I don't drink, but you know. He has a couple businesses out there, and he delivers wine to some couple big name corporations.
So you got a bottle or two that you just don't open?
I can ask him for him, but I don't. I listen. I just watch his business process and learn some things from a nice distance, sir.
What up, Otis? Hey, so I'm just saying. Listen, I'm sober. You sober, but hey, if it's a big enough bottle of wine or expensive enough bottle of wine, I'd drink it. Shit.
No,
let him give you a $13,000 bottle. We got to drink that motherfucker.
Nah, I'm selling it.
Damn.
Like if any bottle worth over $1,000, I'm selling. Like there ain't no you give me something less than 1,000, I'll be like, all right, 500. I just talk about it like, yeah, that's my $500 bottle. You give me a rack and I just got to stare at it because everybody that knows me know I don't drink. Come on now. You know what I'm saying?
That is the question, Angry Man. We about to get into it. What we talking about first, Aaron O?
Mr. Bad Takes Bracy. We got a lot of things to cover today in the hot seat. First is first. Sunday night game was electrifying. Okay, it starred some of the brightest stars in the league today. Okay, we got. He said, "Snowman, not Angry Man." We got the Philadelphia Eagles who took on the Los Angeles Rams in a very close first half game. Very much strong defense. The second half, the Eagles really put their foot on the gas, and Saquon Barkley separated himself from the competition once again. Franchise record in rush yards.
How many? What he ended up with?
I don't remember the exact number. It was like 240, 255, something like that. Ooh. Yeah, it was Saquon. You know what I mean?
That's sick. 240 is sickening.
It was like 245, 255. He had like 10 yards per carry.
That's crazy. That is like John. That's really video game numbers. What he did yesterday. Those 270-yard runs were amazing, and it definitely was electrifying. He had the whole stadium, even though they probably was rooting against Eagles. The plays were just so beautiful, and the speed that he had hitting that line was awesome. Man, I think that LA. You know, it's crazy though, Aaron. I think LA Rams did a really good job. I just think that it ain't too many players that could play with another player that's in the zone like that. Once a player is just in the zone 250 yards, it's just not a normal night for him. He was seeing the holes is just like, you know, you could drive a Mack truck through it. It's just not, you rarely see when two players could go off on each other at the same time. Like the only other person I think that can have the capability is maybe Patrick Mahomes. He's like, oh, okay, Saquon want to have a 240 night. I'm going to have a closer to 500 throwing night.
No,
we can even it out.
The thing is, as a pretty much lifelong Eagles fan, you have to understand. Last year we did not have the breakaway touchdowns. We had a solid running back. He was good, but he couldn't blow the top off the defense. Right. And it's been like that since basically LaShawn McCoy been a running back. We haven't had anybody that's been if they get in the secondary, they gone. You cannot catch them from behind. Saquon has that type of electric ability. I've always noticed that with New York with him. I was like, he gonna get negative yards in a 50. He gonna go negative. So they messed up because they've given somebody who if you've ever listened to Saquon give an interview, just speak. He's humble. He's proud. He's just a really respectful young guy that really just loves the game. You almost hear no negative things about him. His teammates love him. And they pretty much threw mud in his face and said, we don't want you here in New York. That's what they told him. After drafting him number 2 out of Penn State, they said, we don't want you.
Disrespectful.
Yeah. And we actually had the running back that backed him up, Mal. So Miles Sanders actually backed him up in college. So you have to understand he has purpose. He's re-driven. And he has a supporting cast around him that it's a winning culture out here. You go from a losing culture to a winning culture. It changes the whole game. So it was just one of those games where our defense just is playing at the highest level I've seen them play in years. We finally got a cornerback that we can rely on in the secondary consistently. At least one side of that field is going to be occupied. Our other cornerbacks will be injured and in and out, which we've seen between Big Play Slay and Mr. Rogers. But other than that, team is solid, secondary rush. I mean, we just lost Brandon Graham. I don't know how long he'll be out. He had a monster game, and I mean monster game. The Eagles are just on another level. So I will ask you this. Do you believe the Eagles prove that they are the best team in the NFL?
No. They did not. They did not prove they're the best team in the NFL. What they did prove is that they could have a special night, and they was able to keep feeding that man the ball. They understood the importance of that man being in the zone. That offensive line absolutely understood the assignment for sure last night, and they just fed off of him. I do not believe once you get into the upper tier of playoff is you're gonna be just running 200 yards. That ain't happening. You're gonna have to depend on your quarterback. I think at some part in the playoffs, and that's gonna be the game that determines how they really play. As of right now, people are afraid of them. That line is just moving anybody that's in their way. If the earth was in their way right now, they'll probably move that mother too. So I do not believe I still don't believe they're the best team.
Who do you have ahead of them?
I'm sorry, but I got Kansas City ahead of them and Detroit looking like they're ahead of them as well.
Okay, so you have Kansas City and Detroit. So let me ask you. You would take Kansas City. Well, let's go with Detroit because I understand Kansas City has the best quarterback in the league. So that's just all by default, but that's another conversation. So let's go with the Lions, right? Because they're our conference process right now. Yeah. You telling me if you look at the team, you would take the Lions defense over the Eagles defense?
Defense, no. Defensively wise, no, I would not.
Okay, so let's say you give the edge to the Eagles defense. What about running back? Which running back do you want?
I'm gonna have to, even though I dislike him at this moment in my life.
Fair enough. What about receivers? Which receiving core do you want?
I do like AJ Brown, but I like Amon-Ra a lot. However, I will say the Eagles receiving core is a little better. Yeah.
So what would you like more about the Lions if you look at every position that is basically important and you give the edge or probably a wide edge? Why would you then say the Lions are better?
I like the way how they play together. I like how they have a chip on it. That same chip that you say Saquon had by himself. The whole team of the Detroit Lions have that full chip on their shoulder. They want to prove that they are not a fluke. They are not a Cinderella story, and they want to win for their coach. And they have this big chip on their shoulder saying that we are a legit team. We are not just a fly-by-night team and we are doing good this year, and you ain't going to see us next year. No, they want to show that they're building and they're going to keep on going, and they are playing like it. So that's why, for some reason, the things is just clicking for them this year, and they look like they're a really solid team, and I like their special teams as well.
Fair enough. I'm going to just tell you like this. They're not going to be able to block our defensive line. If you unfamiliar with that big old defensive tackle that we have in the middle, he is a monster.
He's a monster. Yeah, that whole defense.
They're not going to be able to block them. But let me tell you this. Our offensive line will be able to block their defensive line. So that's what you need to understand. Like, our quarterback is a playmaker, and he is mobile. Detroit Lions quarterback going to be running for his life when the Eagles come to town. I'm going to just tell you that now. You may not understand the importance of being able to evade, but if you saw what they did to the other quarterback just the other night, like they're going to do the same thing to him.
They did beat him up. They roughed him up pretty bad.
And one of them is a Super Bowl champ.
Damn. They did rough him up pretty bad.
And one of them is not.
Hey.
So, I just don't understand how anybody could have the Lions ahead of the Eagles when you look at what the Eagles won almost like 7 straight at this point. They
ain't play nobody.
Okay, who has the Lions beat that you're impressed by?
Everybody they beat.
Come on, and everybody's beating everybody in their schedule, sir. It's just ridiculous. So I understand the argument for Kansas City, but I'm gonna just tell you like this: Kansas City can't beat the Eagles either. They can't block. They cannot protect their quarterback.
Now you tripping?
I'm not tripping. They can't protect their quarterback. The only thing that can beat the Eagles is health problems. If we go into the season relatively healthy at our skills in key positions, Kansas City cannot block the Eagles' defensive line. They're struggling defending him. They just barely won the other day against Carolina, which is widely considered the worst team in the league.
But you played to your competition a lot.
No, they're not. So how the Lions won 50-something to like 4? How is that playing to your competition?
Sometimes, yeah.
No, it ain't no sometimes, sir. Like what you do is you make excuses. That's what you make, and I don't make excuses. The point of it is this: the Eagles are clearly the best team. Now, unless you like a singular player, which I will give you, Patrick Mahomes, because he has the ability to be better than any team on any given night, pretty much carrying the team. I'll concede that. But realistically, based upon how they performed and their inability to protect the quarterback, we're past the trade deadline. They're not getting any new offensive lineman in there that's going to be able to block for him. They're not going to stop our defensive line. It's just not going to happen. So the secondary, our secondary, the way our zone defense runs, people are in trouble. And I think people are starting to realize that. And we control the ball. We control the clock. We run the ball. I think Jalen Hurts is clearly the best quarterback when it comes to the RPOs, when it comes to run play options. Like, it's clear he is the best at doing that. Everybody else is
just as good as he's just as good as Justin Fields. So yeah, I'll give you that.
Yeah, exceedingly. Justin Fields doesn't start in this league, and he does. So clearly, they're not even in the same atmosphere. He got more rushing touchdowns than Justin Fields does. He got more than starting running backs do.
But here's the thing. So I think the way how Detroit is just blowing people out is another concern. Like they really, when they start trampling people, they really trampling them over. The Eagles, they don't have a lot of blowout games. Even though
we blew out multiple teams. What are you talking about?
Who else? This one was a good one. This one was good. They beat a good team, and they beat a team. They blew out a team that was actually playing well. Like they was playing well. They was keeping up. It's just that Saquon was on another goddamn planet. Detroit, who they beat? They beat the Rams, the Buccaneers, Green Bay. They beat Green Bay. They beat the Texans.
Okay.
That's probably about it that I can remember that actually makes sense. Oh, they beat the Cardinals. They also beat the Cardinals as well.
I mean, look, listen, you talk about blowouts. We beat your Giants 28-3. We beat your Giants 28-3. We beat the Bengals 37-17. We beat the Cowgirls. We beat the Cowgirls 34-6.
They didn't have their quarterback neither. Both those teams didn't have their quarterback.
If that's your argument, you made an argument that Jalen Hurts was not better than Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson just lost to a backup in Cleveland.
I said Lamar Jackson, but we could go ahead with that. I'm defend that as well too.
You can't defend that.
You give Russell Wilson that goddamn line, shit. You give Russell Wilson AJ Brown, shit. You take Jalen Hurts out, you put Russell Wilson in, team is still doing well.
Unbelievable.
The team is not even doing that well because of their quarterback.
Well, we'll come back. We'll come back to that. The point of it is this: the Eagles have proved that they're easily a top 3 team in the league. People want to argue back and forth who the top 3 are. That's their decision. I have the Eagles atop. It's just clear as day that they're the best team. Now, you can argue who has the best singular player. That's your decision there, but they're clearly the best team from offense to defense to control and all these things. Out of all the top 3 teams right now, okay? Then if you look at what Saquon has done, he's clearly run himself into the MVP race. Everybody's talking about how Saquon has a high chance of winning the MVP. What would that require is basically everybody saying breaking the NFL record. That's what everybody is saying.
And how far is he away from breaking the record?
On pace-wise, he's on pace to break it. So that means his averages per game through the season, he would be on pace to break the record.
And who got the record currently?
Well, it depends. So there is a record when it comes to yards from scrimmage, and then there's a record for rushing. So the record is owned by ED, Eric Dickerson. So that record is like, I don't know what year, like the 80s maybe? It's super old. Nidish, what's up? I think the yards from scrimmage, that might be Chris Johnson. I might have to look that up.
Damn. I didn't know he was that good.
Yeah, Chris Johnson, Mr. 2K. He was running 2K. He had 2,000 yards a season. I think he owns the scrimmage record. I could be wrong, but I think he does. He's at least the last one that come to mind with enough scrimmage yards to even break my head. But we'll get somebody in the chat to fact check that and get whoever it is. But he's definitely on pace to break the rushing record, possibly the scrimmage record. I don't know.
Yeah, Saquon is definitely a front runner, and he's well deserved especially the way how he played last night. Last night is really going to make people look at him a little differently. Having over 250 yards or 240, anything over 200 yards in a single game is insane. Both of those 70-yard runs was insane. Like, it had a lot of energy. Like, it really made the crowd be excited. So it's going to be hard. Who is a hard number 2 to go to get the MVP? Derrick Henry?
No, Derrick Henry don't have a chance because he's on a team with
Lamar.
He's on a team. Yeah, he's on a team with LaDroit said 17 game season doesn't count. It only don't count to you. You must don't know how the rules work and the league works. Let me give you an example. If you look back in the day, there were teams that were in the league that they didn't play a lot of games. If you even look at the NBA season, has it always been 82 games? It doesn't even matter. The point being is the record is the record. It doesn't matter how you get there.
Yeah.
The record is the record, sir. I would agree. I would prefer it to be in 16 games because then you'll have all the doubters, the old heads. But when we die off, the young people just going to see a record.
Yeah.
And that's the thing people got to project and learn about. It was just a good night. It was just a good night for that team, their dominance, their ability to display control. They're just clicking on all cylinders. And they were out without one of the top wide receivers in the league. He was out. He will eventually be back. We can't really get both of our receivers on the field together long enough. Last season they was considered one of the best receiver duels in the league, probably the best. So once we get them healthy, that's going to change the game.
Yeah,
we got a lot of things.
I just looked it up. So Eric Dickerson, he rushed for 2,100 yards.
2105. Yeah, 2105. Yeah.
That is insane.
Yeah, well, you got to remember.
Saquon got 1,400. So,
well, AP, like in 2012 season, that's when he hit that 2,000. So then you got to look at CJ2K hit the 2, Jamal Lewis hit the 2. It's a couple different ones. So, it'll be a crazy season. But that's the only way that they're going to give it to him because they want to give it to a quarterback, and the quarterback don't have to break no records. If you look at all of the quarterbacks now, none of them on pace to throw 5,000 yards. Like, do you remember when the quarterbacks was all throwing 5,000-yard seasons and Drew Brees? And you remember that?
Hey, I remember where it was just like they was just doing 300 yards every damn game. I barely see them breaking 300 yards.
Yeah,
I'm seeing the top quarterbacks doing 175. I'm like, what is this? You're a top quarterback. How you only throwing 100 and 200 yards?
So
that's crazy.
Yeah, that's the point. Let's get into let's talk about real quick the Washington Commanders versus the Cowgirls. I mean the Cowboys.
Hey,
my bad. Cowboys played extremely well. They showed a high level of resiliency, but I think they're not doing what the team is designed to do. They're designed to lose, and they over there messing things up. They're over there messing things up. Last time I checked, people over there talking about we want Dion, we want Shador. Well, y'all not gonna get him if you win in games.
Oh man,
but that's an even bigger alarm. So
so you say they can't lose properly?
Hey, listen, as sad as that sounds, as sad as that sounds, yes. The teams that need to lose don't know how to properly lose.
Oh my goodness, that is crazy. You are nuts.
Yeah. So the thing is, it was a good game, very close, came down to the wire. That guy, oh my gosh, that kick return to the house with the spin move. Ooh. Oh my gosh.
Ooh, that was.
I'm like, was he playing Madden before the game? Oh my gosh.
Like, what made you do that move? Yeah. And it just goes to show how important special teams is, right? Because the dude that missed the tackle, you're supposed to contain your spot, not over pursue. And what he did was over pursue, and that's what made the spin move look so good. If he would just stuck in his spot, the spot that he's supposed to protect with, he would have spun right into him. But you want to over pursue, get a big hit, or maybe even try to force a fumble or something. I don't know what was your mental to over pursue like that. You over pursue so hard that you also block two other players for potentially even tackle him. You gave him the block that he actually needed. And he spun out, turned that speed up. Yeah.
Well, let's go over it. The Dallas Cowboys win the game 34-26. Cooper Rush, filling in for the injured Dak Prescott, has a pretty solid game. 24 for 32, 247 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interception, clean game. Rico Dowdle, who is he? I just had to say that. He filled in as running back. He ran the ball effectively well. 19 carries, 86 yards. CeeDee Lamb had a rather average game, 10 catches, 67 yards. But it was those special teams play, the multiple kick returns that really changed the game. If you look on the Commander side, Jaden Daniels, who I believe has been struggling a lot lately, okay? He's been struggling with his accuracy the last 4 or 5 games. Okay. He finished this game 25 for 38, 275 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. He was sacked 4 times. He did run the ball effectively. He had 7 rushes for 74 yards and a touchdown. So he was relatively all over the field. But I will say this. Do you believe that after his performance against the Cowboys, which his accuracy the last 5 games are down, he's no longer at that historic pace that he was at, do you believe NFL teams have figured him out and that he's probably not as good right now as people were projecting him to be the next golden boy?
I think he's still talent-wise, he still have it, but they figured him out without a doubt, and they knocked the Washington Commanders out of even thinking about they're going to make some noise in the playoffs. And his coaching staff need to figure out what the other team's doing to negate that man's talent, because they're doing a bad job. They just depending on strictly on his talent and his ability to get out the way, and they're not strategically planning against what the defense is trying to, the scheme that the defense is running against him. And that's an issue that I'm having. Hey, listen, y'all got to be his coach. You can't just expect all of his talent to beat the defense. No, you got to have a strategy. The same way how they put a strategy against that young man, and he figured it out in the first half of the season. For the first 6 games, he was cooking. The other 6, they said, hey, we're going to pay attention to this young man a little more. What is his ticks? What did he do constantly? How's he looking? Is he pressing? When he go up, what do they run? They figured that shit out. I mean, they figured that stuff out. And now his coaching staff got to figure out how to combat the other defense.
Well, to me, right? I'm looking all around the league, okay? I'm looking at Jaden Daniels starting to regress a little bit, right? I'm looking at C.J. Stroud, right, out in Texas, right? He's starting to regress a little bit. Like I was looking at his performances, right? And I'm like, okay, he's been playing well, but if you look at his stats this year, right? He's up there in yards per game. He's 4th in the league in passing, but he has 14 touchdowns and 9 interceptions, right? That's not good. If you look at last year, the whole season last year, he had 23 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. So he's already exceeded his interception goal of last year with 3 games less, with 4 more interceptions. His average yards per pass is down. His rating is down. His accuracy is down. He's been sacked more than all of last year with 3 extra games to go. I think what happened is sometimes these young players, they catch the league by storm. And then when people start realizing, no, we have to adjust for it. No, we have to really pay more attention to them. We're starting to see that these players cannot sustain that hot rate. If you look at Brock Purdy, right, he is not playing as well as he played last year. He's not, his accuracy is not as high, his pass per game, like every statistical category for him is pretty much down. He's losing more. Like, if you look at the quarterbacks, I'm starting to see regression from the young quarterbacks in the league that had a great last year, but going into their second year of starting, and Jaden's obviously in his first, but still, you're starting to see the back paddle on the second half of the year. So that's what I've been noticing with the quarterbacks lately. What do you think?
I think it's really they got to find a way to protect these young men. They running for their lives. They both been sacked tremendously. I believe Jaden, when I was watching the game, they say he had like 35. He'd been sacked 35 times. Mm-hmm. And I believe CJ Stroud, he's around the same thing, 36, 35 sack. Like, those kids is running for their life. The only reason why they not sacked more is because they're such a mobile quarterback. If they was like how you was talking earlier, like how what's that young man, Golf, and he just stayed in the pocket, it'd probably be up to 50. The way how these young men running for their life. And so they got to find, this is why I was saying, they got to find a better scheme to attack the defense with this type of skill set that they have, and not just do a RPO. No, that's not going to work.
So here's the problem.
They're already trying to kill the young
They're men. Playing in the same offense with the same players they were playing with before. So they weren't getting protected before.
Damn.
Like, I can't use that excuse. Sometimes you just don't play well. Sometimes the NFL is full of professionals, and you just have some down games. But to me, it's looking like teams have figured out what they want to do, and they're taking it away from them. Their first reads, they're not giving them that. They're not the whole dink and dunk passes that people usually get away with. Those are getting cleaned up, and that's what it's starting to look like. If you look out, man, the only team that's doing a job that's losing proper is the Giants. They the only ones that know the job. And they don't only listen.
Now you understand why I don't care how good the Eagles going to do. I still going to talk shit about their ass.
Yeah. Why. Yeah, well.
You're not to be you're a sore winner. That's what you are. You want to rub it in.
Well, let's talk about the Chiefs in Carolina, okay? Chiefs, Carolina. To me, I think this actual game was probably Patrick Mahomes' best game of the season.
Wow.
I think it was his best game of the season. Let's see. Carolina lost by a field goal in the waning moments of the game. Okay. Kansas City had a pretty good night running the ball. Okay. Patrick Mahomes was 27 for 37, 269, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. He was sacked 5 times, which is a lot.
That's a lot.
Lost 43 yards. Kareem Hunt, 16 carries, 68 yards. Patrick Mahomes had that big 33-yard run to close out the game to get the set with the field goal.
That was beautiful.
And he was really distributing the ball. Noah Gray got 2 touchdowns. Okay, Kelsey 6 catches, 62 yards. Everybody else played relatively average. It was a team performance. The defense played decent, but once again they given up 27 points to the Carolina Panthers. Okay, Bryce Young. He had a modest game, 21 for 35, 263, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. They kept the run game in check. Okay, Carolina had 21 carries for 85 yards and a touchdown. It was a rather average run game, but the score 27 to 30, that's a lot of points for the Chiefs to be giving up. And they actually needed Mahomes to play his best game of the season, in my estimation, based upon how the games have been going. I do not see the Chiefs as being, like I told you, they were not going undefeated. I remember me telling you that, okay? I actually I don't see their pathway to win it all anymore. If they can't protect the quarterback, and I don't see that changing because they're not getting new personnel. And their last few games, they've been struggling. You see what I'm saying? Like, they've been struggling to put teams away, to show a level of dominance. And when's the last time we've seen a team just lean their way to the playoffs and win it all? Like, they usually have some level of crazy dominant performances, and I'm not seeing that. They're starting to teeter a little bit, and they have no depth. Now, I do believe they're going to get some pieces back. Okay, obviously, they're going to get some help in the receiving game a little bit, but I don't know if that's enough. But I am concerned for the Kansas City Chiefs. I do believe their deficiencies are starting to show. Maybe other teams are starting to figure out their defense, and they're starting to run better offensive schemes, because the amount of points they've been giving up the last 3 games is alarming to me.
I think that they just suffered some injuries on the defensive side. That's really what happened.
Who got injured?
What's his name? Jalen Watson. Well, he's injured for the year. Nick Bolton, he's struggling with tackling issues and he's injured, so he can't even really tackle properly. So Connor something, I can't pronounce his first name. Chamari, something like that. Chamari, and also that dude Tranquil. Tranquil is also he ain't like so they've been dealing with a lot of injuries. I think they're gonna be fine. They still are pretty good defense in the league. I believe last time we checked them out, their defense was in the top. They was in the top 5 or the top 10. So they solid enough. They're gonna turn it up. I just believe that they let their foot off the gas on Carolina because nobody expected Carolina to put up those goddamn points. They played to their competition. They slept on them, and then they had to turn it up at the end again. Like, oh shit, they actually really playing today. And
you tend to like teams that play down to their competition. These are your favorite teams.
I'm just saying what it just happens. It really does. It's something that you told me not too long ago. You playing against a bunch of 10-year-olds. You ain't gonna just dunk on the 10-year-olds. You're gonna be like, you're gonna play a little bit.
And what did you tell me? I'm gonna dunk on those 10-year-olds.
Me personally, yes, I'm gonna dunk on them. I'm gonna bust their ass. I ain't gonna have that. I'm blocking every shot. But in reality, most of these players, they play to their competition. That's why they can't keep their foot on the gas. Because they just don't see the person, they just see the person in front of them. They looking past that team. They're like, oh, Carolina, they actually was playing, they was thinking about the other team already. They ain't really give a damn about the Carolina Panthers. They just had to figure out the last few minutes, like, oh shit, we got to play. We can't go down, lose it to them, and now everybody be talking shit about us for the whole week. And so they started playing.
Well, okay, fair enough. If you're not really seeing much changes with the Kansas City Chiefs.
Nah.
I'm seeing a little bit there. Let's go to Minnesota and Chicago. Okay, to me that was a really, really good game. It showed me some things that I wanted to see. Okay, so let's see the score 30-27 in favor of Minnesota. Okay, you had Sam Darnold who had a really, really good game. He played phenomenal. 22 for 34, 330 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Okay, Aaron Jones. Okay. 22 carries, 106 yards and a touchdown. He played really well. Jordan Addison was really carrying the team because Justin Jefferson was not he was not his regular self, okay? But Addison had 8 catches, 162 yards, and a touchdown. And the Vikings got about 3 sacks. Now, Caleb Williams, on the other hand, I thought he played a almost terrific game. Okay, he was 32 for 47, 340 yards.
It sounds good. It definitely sounds good.
2 touchdowns, no interceptions, high QBR. DJ Moore had 7 catches, 106 yards and a touchdown. Keenan Allen, 9 catches, 86 yards, touchdown. I mean, overall, a really good game. Let me just tell you this. When they got to overtime, I'm watching the game.
Yeah.
And Caleb Williams blows the game.
Woo!
Oh, my God.
What'd he do?
That's
why I was surprised you said that.
He held the ball. I think it was a second or a third down. I don't remember what it was. And he was holding the ball, trying to dodge. He could have just threw it away. I think it was first or second. He just threw the ball away. He took a sack that lost like 15 yards. It was the worst play of the game. I mean, it's overtime. First, like you can score the touchdown, put like something. And what he does is he takes a sack and loses because he doesn't realize, and this is the problem with Caleb Williams, right? Okay. He doesn't realize he's not in college anymore. And he's no longer the dominant athlete over college athletes. When you're in college, you're supremely better than most of the competition. This is why you be seeing Alabama blowing people out because they just
blown out by 60. You ain't blowing nobody out by 60 here.
No, because he has a lack of respect for the talent of the rest of the league. That's what I've known about him. He doesn't realize,
young man.
Yeah, because he doesn't realize, I can't outrun that defensive end. I can't outmaneuver them when they only half an inch away from me. Throw the ball away. He does not know how to do that yet. He has not adapted well. That part is not on the coaching. That's on him. I watched the game. He played a really good game. Prior to that, it was a battle. But that singular play cost his team the victory. He 100% blew the game.
Actually, I really like that take. I didn't really pay attention to that part of the take that he just feel like he's so much faster. He's still stuck in a mindset that he's faster than everybody and not realizing that these linemen are just as fast as you and stronger than you at that, by the way.
And they're playing against the best players in the world. They're playing against players that are faster than you. They're playing against the Lamars, the Justin they're playing against some of the very, very best players. Okay, so I was so mad because I'm rooting for him. I'm rooting for him so bad because he's in Chicago where quarterbacks' careers go to die.
It's a great point.
I'm rooting for the kid to be successful. I'm like, man, I sure hope he changed life in Chicago because other than that, all he's gonna have is drill music. I don't want that for them. I want a future for those children. Okay, and it is just sickening, and it makes me want to puke.
Okay, I see you. I love that take that he's playing to his yesteryear competition. He ain't really catch up to realize that he playing against the best of the best. You ain't just gonna outrun nobody. You ain't gonna outthrow nobody. You playing against some of the most seasoned, talented American football players in the world. Actually, this is the only place they play it. So these are the greatest football players in the world, literally. It ain't like how it's in basketball where you can say, hey, you could go overseas. No, these are the best football players in the world, unless it's an injury.
And here's the crazy thing, because it was a battle of USC quarterbacks. Okay, got Caleb, you got Sam Darnold. Now, here's the most amazing thing that I've noticed.
I like that take.
I think we owe Sam Darnold an apology.
No,
most of us have been sitting by, waiting for him to revert back to his New York Jets days.
Damn.
Where we just go, man, we know that's what you do, man. We know you're not good. And all he does, I mean, look, what is their record out? What is their record? Let me see here.
They are pretty decent.
What is their record? Because he got them playing so well. He's even shocking me. Let me see what their record is. Their record 9-2. They're 9-2.
Hey, and it's nothing better than flying under the radar.
Sir, they are 9-2. So what this does for me is tell me one thing. Not only is Chicago a place where quarterbacks' career go to die, the New York Jets are officially a place where quarterback careers go to die. Because for some reason, almost every quarterback that leaves the New York Jets finds a way to be decent on other teams. Now, I'm not saying they go on and win an MVP, but it seems like they can actually play football. It seems like they're an actual serviceable quarterback as long as they're not in a New York Jets uniform.
That's one player. That's one quarterback. You can't name two more.
There ain't no other players that played. I don't think Geno played for the Jets. So, okay. Did Geno play for the Jets? Let me look it up.
He did play for the He did, but he got himself punched in the face. That wasn't the Jets' fault.
That wasn't the Jets' fault?
No, he got knocked out and his jaw broke and he couldn't play for you. That wasn't the Jets' fault.
I don't know.
That wasn't the Jets' fault. Absolutely not. We can't give you Geno. Geno got knocked out by one of his homies. Give me a different one. You can't. No, we're not going to do that to the Jets. Absolutely not.
Listen, I'll just give you a quarterback that career that was doing well, and he came there and they died. Aaron Rodgers. He was doing well before he got there. Now he's there. His career is done. So,
injury.
No,
injury did that to him. I've been watching him play. Nothing to do with the Jets organization. He got hurt within the first 4 plays of the game. Had nothing to do with it. Barely any contact.
That happened this year?
And this year, he's still trying to recover from that injury.
Oh.
And this is why they only throw quick slants, and he can't throw nothing past 20 yards for some strange reason. I don't know why. But they every play is a quick slant, and the defense know what he's going to do. So it makes it difficult because they know what he's going to do. Because he can't do nothing else at this point. Because he can't plant his foot properly. It's okay. It's okay. So, but when we do this year and we draft somebody decent, we're going to see. We allowed to mess up every once in a while. We messed up. It's okay. It's no problem. It's no problem. It's not a problem. It's not a problem. So the Jets is okay. I think the Jets is okay. They got rid of the coach. They got rid of the general manager. They revamped the whole office. They're gonna get it in some nice young talent, hopefully. And we might have to stay with Aaron. We're gonna see. That's why they're not pulling the trigger on sitting his ass down yet, because they don't know where they're gonna be at. So no, the Jets is not a team where quarterbacks go to die. It's a team where quarterbacks could go and flourish. You see Mark Sanchez, he was doing well until he did the damn butt fumble. He did it to himself. He embarrassed himself.
When's the last time the Jets made the playoffs?
I don't know. When Revis Island was there.
Let's see, since you want to be funny. Darrelle Revis retirement date. The man retired in 2018. He did not retire as a Jet.
Damn.
The Jets have not been to the playoffs in a decade, sir.
Goddamn.
Over a decade, sir. 14 years, I believe, is the number. Sir, you have children that have never seen the Jets make the playoffs, sir.
It's possible.
You had no gray hairs the last time the Jets made the playoffs, sir. Sir, to me, it's evident, it's clear. The Jets are an awfully ran, poor franchise. They do not identify offensive talent very well. And at the biggest, most pivotal position, they cannot draft quarterbacks well. They always make the wrong selection. It's always the other quarterback that got drafted after them that end up being on to be the better quarterback. Then when quarterbacks do get drafted there and then they do leave, it seems they get better when they leave, sir. So something about how awful that franchise is. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is so historically good. Even half of Aaron Rodgers should be good enough to get the job done with a team like that. But unfortunately, the organization needs a structural change from the top down. Possibly ownership need to resign. That's how awful they are.
The whole ownership?
Yeah, I would.
So him and Jerry Jones, they both need to resign.
No, I don't think that way about Jerry Jones. The difference between Jerry Jones and the Jets is the expectation for the Cowboys is for them to win a Super Bowl, right? And at least they make the playoffs occasionally. Now, they don't do nothing in the playoffs, but at least they make it, because the goal is to get me in the big dance, give me an opportunity, because in sports, nothing is guaranteed, but give me an opportunity. If I pick a player, can you guarantee me an opportunity and a chance at the big dance? And that's what the playoffs are. You never know what can happen. You can go in as a wild card like your New York Giants back when you was a baby in diapers, but it seems to me the Jets is just a debacle, okay? They're just not a team ready to perform. You do not compare them to the Cowboys. The Cowboys won the division last year.
Barely.
And no, it wasn't okay, one game or so, but still 12 wins or something like that. They won the division at least. Yeah. Now, obviously, they've been struggling this year because their quarterback is down. They were struggling with him in there. And obviously, it's clear as day they're trying to tank. I believe listen. This is my take. I'm going to give my take. So now that we finish off on the Jets and their disastrous franchise, I'll give you my take on the Cowboys quarterback situation. This is what I believe. I believe the quarterbacks want to do something similar to what they saw with Daniel Jones. They want to cut Dak Prescott. I don't know if they can find a way to get it done without the destruction of their cap, because I believe they're going to lose enough games to where they're going to be in the hunt for one of the quarterbacks. There's two quarterbacks that stand out between the above. Obviously, that's Shadir and that's Cam. Those are the top two quarterbacks based upon my estimation for what I've seen, okay? There are other quarterbacks. Ewers there in Texas. There are other quarterbacks that are really, really good, but I do think the exceptional ones, the ones that have that it factor, are Cam and Shadir. So I believe they can be in the running because obviously not every team needs to draft a quarterback. Some teams are going to struggle, like the Panthers. They probably should draft a quarterback, but they still they still have a number one pick. You see what I'm saying? So it's tough to say what you're willing to do there. So I believe that's the goal of the Cowboys. I think they want to cut Dak Prescott. I don't think they'll be able to because of the cap hit. He does have a no trade clause, I believe. I think that's the goal.
They gotta pay him and cut him.
Yeah, no, that's not how contracts work. They're not gonna be able to do that.
So what is the chances? What do they have to do to even attempt to get rid of Dak at this moment? Since he just recently signed his contract,
trade him.
I thought you said he had a no trade clause.
Yeah, he has to agree to the trade, but the difference is this: he's likely to agree because he's not going to start there. Sit him on a. So here's the difference, and look, we're going to talk about it. If you sit him on a bench as a quarterback making all that money, and you try to trade him, I don't care if you can get him out of there for a 7th-round pick. You don't care. Get him up out of here because the ultimate goal is you want to get as much as that money off your books as possible. Now, obviously, teams that are smart are going to make you pay some of that money, right? They're going to negotiate some of the money, but somebody will be willing to take Dak Prescott. He's not a bad quarterback at all. He's obviously played really well, and there's a dying need for quarterback. Look, you can look at Cleveland if you want. The Cleveland Browns desperately need a quarterback. Even with Deshaun Watson's contract, they are looking at ways to cut him. So I'm just telling you. And listen, in the great world of sports, we see things happen all the time. Okay, we think nothing ain't happen, and then it's happening. So I believe ultimately that is what the Cowboys want to do. They want to move Dak, and they want to get another quarterback in there. I believe they've kind of proven that. The way you do it is this: you bench Dak, and you make him prove to the world that he is so selfish, right? That he just wants his money and he doesn't want to go to another team where he has the opportunity to start it. He would rather sit on the bench instead of waive a no trade clause and play for a team that doesn't want him. That won't make you look good.
Okay, I like that plan.
So obviously, I'm not their publicist out in the Dallas, but I would definitely shred them in the press. And it's not that hard because Cowboys fans are tired of them. They don't think they're not. That some of them love him, but a lot of them are tired of him. They don't believe he can get the job done. So there's ways that can happen in the great world of sports. I believe that's the ultimate goal, along with the Cleveland Browns that want to get rid of Deshaun. Now,
so
obviously, they're not swapping.
Even though they're gonna most likely get rid of the head coach, you still think they still want to possibly move Dak as well?
Yeah, I think that most people can see that Dak can't win the big game. It's not that he's not a serviceable quarterback in the regular season. It's starting to look like him and Lamar Jackson are those type of players. It's starting to look like that. So, and that's how everybody feels. Whenever Lamar goes against one of the elite teams in the playoffs, he does not win. And so whenever Dak goes against one of the elite teams in the playoffs, he does not win. It bothers people because they have the number one offense, and then they playing so well. And so at some point, you had remember they moved away from Romo. And Romo was Romo at the time.
That's right. But he was also injured. He couldn't throw past 10 yards at the time, too.
Point being is in it. So people get injured all the time, B.
Hey, but look, see, the only problem is this, that Romo didn't have that line that Dak got. Dak had a line.
Yeah, they both had really good offensive line.
No, but Dak got a line. Dak line is almost as good as the goddamn
the Cowboys' offensive line is no longer good.
Right now.
It hasn't been good for the last few years.
I would say this year. Last year they was all right.
They were all right last year, but they're definitely not good this year.
But Dak, for the majority of his career, he had a decent line.
That's fair.
And he ain't produced enough for the line that he had. It's just
like
what your Eagles got. Your Eagles got a good line, and they.
Yeah, but I think Dak has produced. He year after year, they are in contention. They are typically playing for a playoff lead. They're very close. They are not 1-16 too. That they got 8, 9, 10 wins. They are rather competitive. It's just that's not Cowboys' expectations. The expectation for the Cowboys, because their owner talks so much and run his mouth so much, is that they need to win a Super Bowl. It's what he wants to get before his last few days of life, and it's what that's what he said. He wants to see it get done. And that's what he has a drive and desire to. Unfortunately, his ego is bigger than the last time they won. It wasn't because of him. And I think he wants to prove it's because of him, or he has some ego problem that he needs to do. He ain't no Robert Kraft that be quiet and just let the stuff, operate and run. So that's one of the things that's hurting. But what can you do? Because Jerry do pay the money. Jerry do got the number one rated valuable franchise. You see what I'm saying? So you got to take the good with the bad.
Yeah, that's fair. He seemed like he do have a point to prove. It's kind of like that Chicago situation when they have a John when the GM was like, "Hey, I was the one that drafted Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. Why y'all ain't saying that I did a good job? Why y'all talking about Phil Jackson?" It kind of seemed like it's that kind of situation with Jerry Jones for sure. He want the recognition of, "Hey, I put this together. Look at me. Look what I did." Not what. Yeah. So that is a very interesting. I've never really thought of it that way, but that is a very good point. He's tanking his own team because he want to be the one that's calling shots and saying, "I put this together." Very true.
That's what I see going on. As the season unwinds, we'll see more and more traction.
Like you're on point today for once. It's about time.
Yeah, it's typical. So as the season continues to go on, we'll see more and more storylines develop, and we'll go from there. But that's what I'm seeing now. Let's get into this last game that just finished up here. The Harbaugh Bowl. The Harbaugh Bowl. So a battle between brothers head coaches, okay?
Yeah.
John Harbaugh and Jim Harbaugh. I think they're the same, okay? Jim and John, they said they might as well be the same name, okay? Baltimore Ravens secured a victory 30-23, and Baltimore was effectively in control in the second half. It was a very close first half, a very strong defensive first half. There was offensive struggles, but Baltimore made it rain as they continue to pile on as the number one offense in the league. Lamar Jackson finished 16 of 22 for 177 yards and 2 touchdowns, no interception. Derrick Henry had a monster night, 24 carries, 140 yards. Okay? Zay Flowers had a big play. He had 5 catches, 62 yards, but that big 25-yard play was the big deal for me. Bateman touchdown right before the half was huge. That was huge. But Justin Herbert, he played a decent game. He was 21 for 36, 218 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. J.K. Dobbins, who had that breakaway last week, he got injured this game, so he didn't really play to the full potential. The Chargers have been playing really well this season. If the Chargers were able to pull this game out, I was going to have their coach as coach of the year.
Wow.
The Chargers were able to pull out this victory over the Ravens. I was going to bump Jim Harbaugh to the coach of the year easily. If you look at how many wins they have this year, had they won this game against one of the elite teams, then you'd have the best argument that he's the coach of the year. If you look at how many games that the Chargers won last year in comparison to what he's done in year one, and just how drastically he transformed that defense with the same players pretty much, they haven't had much change on defense. Offense is some shifting, yes. So I was definitely impressed by the brothers and their success. But Baltimore proved they're superior team. They end up running 30 points on the board after a strong half. The Chargers have a really, really good defense this year. So for the way the Baltimore Ravens were to break through that and win, it was a good statement game for the Ravens. They needed it because they've been coming off some you guys really what we say they are. So it was an excellent performance by the Baltimore Ravens, and they were able to pull that out. Your thoughts?
They better had, because Baltimore was on my list of watching them and seeing how they really doing, how they adding up. Are they really a real team? Are they the pretenders of the league for real? And so they had to. For me, it was a must win for them to even take them serious. Especially we got Derrick Henry, and like you got too much going on for you to be losing to so many teams. You got 4 losses already. All the top elite teams, you got to compete. And so for me, I'm shocked about this whole coach of the year situation, which you made a good argument for him. You made a very good argument for him. However, I didn't even think of him as a coach of the year of anything of that nature. But that's a great argument. He took a team.
Well, here's the numbers. Last year,
strongly. So
last year the Chargers were 5-12. This year they're 7-4.
7-4 now because they were 7-3. So hey,
and I'm pretty sure they're going to win a few more games this year. So they could go from 5-12 to literally maybe
a double digit
12-5, 11-6. Like they can win 10 plus games easily.
Right, they could double up easy, at least 10 games.
Yeah. So that's to me, that is the argument that I have. I still may make an argument later on down the line that he's coach of the year. If I just look at the comparison, you cannot say the Lions have coach of the year because last year the Lions won like 13 games. What they're doing is not shocking. You can't say Kansas City got coach of the year because they're not going undefeated, and what they're doing is not shocking. You cannot say Baltimore got the coach of the year because they got the MVP. You see what I'm saying? Like, if you look at the teams, you can't really make that argument for the Eagles either because they won like 11 games last year. So out of all the teams that were really bad last year and that are winning this year, to me, the Chargers are the biggest difference ones. So I have him very high up in coach of the year right now, but I understand why people would have the Detroit coach ahead right now and things like that. But
yeah, just because the franchise historically was bad. So
yes, but and what they're doing, they're still like 9-1, so they only got one loss. But still,
yeah,
I'm more impressed by what he's doing with the Chargers than me seeing the Lions build off of what they built upon last year. So,
so you like the big turnaround, and they all like they defense is really up there, right? They scoring defense is, I think they number one in scoring. So, but the fact that they let these the Baltimore Ravens just run rampant on them too.
It's one of those games.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. Like sometimes when a player just in his zone, it ain't much you could do with that. Derrick Henry, 140 yards. What up, chaotic? 140 yards. Hey, and he was running angry. He was not trying to run out of bounds. He seen somebody coming to us. He ran to him. You kind of see that play yesterday where homeboy said, "Come here." No, I'm not running out of bounds. And he hit him with another one. That's what Derrick Henry was doing. He's stiff arming people all over the place. So that was him and Saquon is just ridiculous this year. It's good to see that the running backs is getting a little bit of shine. I enjoy it. But that's a great argument to have that he's possibly going to have at least a 10-win season, and it was only a 5-win team.
This would have been a marquee game to put on the resume this year. Because he won a national championship. He's a really, really good coach. He's playing to the Super Bowl. He just hasn't got that one over yet, and that's why I feel bad. But man, he's amazing, man.
Well, they at least need to put a curtain. I don't know if he's gonna build a new stadium. I think he's talking about Jerry Jones. That stadium is pretty damn new.
No, that's hilarious. He talking about because that goddamn sun is blinding his players. Yeah, he definitely do need to get a new stadium. Give him another $2 billion. Now, let me get into another game that I think is will shock people. The Miami Dolphins defeat the New England Patriots 34-15. Okay. Drake May, pedestrian numbers 22 of 37, 222 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Okay. Running backs held in check. Receivers relatively held in check. Okay. Miami Dolphins, they had a dominant performance. Tua Tagovailoa. Okay. He was 29 for 40, 317 yards,
damn,
4
40
touchdowns.
Times? That's a lot.
4 touchdowns, no interceptions. Jalen Waddle, depending on how you pronounce it.
That's Waddle.
8 catches, 144 yards, and a touchdown. Ooh. My question to you is this: were people wrong for trying to convince Tua Tagovailoa to retire?
No, they was not wrong. It's something wrong. That boy is a great athlete, but he don't know how to fall. I don't know why he don't know how to fall, but for some reason, his head is a magnet, like a crash dummy, to spring like this and shake and rattle and roll his brain. He he's a quarterback that does not know how to get hit for some strange reason. I ain't never seen a quarterback get hit so much, and they do the whiplash the way how he do. He needs to figure out a way how to protect himself. He wasn't protecting himself, so therefore, yeah, you need to retire because you're gonna just hurt yourself. You're gonna be walking around with Parkinson's because you got CTE. It ain't because of his skill sets, because the man didn't know how to protect himself. Same thing like with Chris Bosh. We know Chris Bosh when everybody forced him to retire that he could still play.
What?
But your medical situation.
You doing it right now? Bad Take Bracy is back.
Hey, that medical condition is stopping you from being great. And his medical condition of getting whiplash every time he hit the goddamn floor is stopping Tua from being great.
Listen, that is a horrible comparison. Chris Bosh had a heart problem. You're literally talking to somebody that can walk on a court and literally die. Comparing to somebody that's getting head like concussions, that is very normal, and that players never used to report them back in the day. So they never used to report them. They used to play with them. And now they have new rules where you got to get a neutral medical profession to evaluate your players, basically, and they have the power to remove them from the game. They had to force that on the players because they were saying, no, I could play, because a lot of them were losing their jobs because they was, a next man up type of thing. So that is a horrible comparison. I think a lot of people were 100% wrong. I think that Tua has proven that he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I'm not saying he's elite, but he's at that second tier range where he can compete. 4 touchdowns, 300 yards. He consistently plays at high level like this, especially in the regular season. There's no way that he should retire. There's no way that he should not be in the league playing. This is the truthful matter, and a lot of people don't want to hear, but I'm going to say it anyway.
Say it.
A lot of people just live in to die.
Live in to what?
A lot of people just live in to die. And what that means is this. Somebody's 50 years is more life than you'll live in 100. And so most people just straggling along for 100 years of their life, and they've done and accomplished nothing. A lot of these players, what they've done in 50, what Kobe Bryant did in his lifetime. It's remarkable. He's lived 10 lifetimes type of life, okay? And so my point of it is this. Sometimes what he's doing, the greatness that he's chasing to play in the NFL, he's like, man, for me to leave, you're going to have to knock me out of the league to where I can't play no more. I'm not going to quit on my own. Not going to quit.
That's what they're doing. They rattling that man's brain. He probably got scrambled eggs up in there right now.
Nope.
He got scrambled eggs as many times that man just fall down and lead with his head. Maybe his head is too heavy. I don't know. Maybe because his head is a little bit squarish and the helmet is round, it ain't protecting his head properly. I'm not sure, but the man he's not protecting himself. He did a little better the past couple of games, protecting himself from the sacks and let his head bump into the goddamn ground. So as long as he could continue to do that, it ain't about his play. It's about how he get tackled, how he don't know how to get tackled properly. It's a problem.
Listen, sir, at the end of the day, he's not going away. He decided to play. I'm not going to lie. I was thinking like, man, you are getting injured a lot. Maybe you should call it quits. But after thinking about it and watching this man play, I'm like, nah.
Wow.
You're going to have to drag him out. You're going to because think about it. You're going to have to drag him off the field because the one thing people that don't play pro sports don't understand is that their careers are short compared to ours. We work for 60. We work all the way up to 65, basically. We work 40 plus years. Okay. They work 15 to 20.
Fair.
And so we project what we would do or how we think, and we don't understand that their life is different, sir. Like a lot of us ain't retiring at 40. A lot of us ain't retiring at 37 years old, where the thing that you love to do, you can no longer do again. They telling you, look, listen to this. They're telling you, I know you've spent your whole life dribbling the basketball up and down the court, playing varsity, all these things.
Right.
But you're 36 years old, and you can't play no more.
Right.
And he's like, well, what the hell am I gonna do with my life? I don't know nothing else but besides ball. I don't know nothing else.
Right.
It's not the same, sir.
It is the same. So this is the problem. So it's just that they are in an accelerator program, right? So even though they retiring at 30, 40, they really body-wise is about 60, 80. That's the real goddamn issue. That's how come when a man turned about like 27, they like, oh, you too old for the sport. You're on your way out because you got to put it in an accelerated program. So a 60-year-old man is equivalent to a 37, 40-year-old man playing in a professional sport. That's just what it is. So
absolutely not.
Everybody ain't gonna be like.
Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why you're wrong. Let me give you the example. Warren Buffett still runs a company, Berkshire Hathaway. He's in his 90s.
Mm-hmm.
He's been running.
Right. He's the Tom Brady.
Okay, look at every CEO that runs a company.
And then we have a LeBron.
No, look at every CEO.
And then we have a Udonis Haslem.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
No. The point being is they don't retire at 65, sir. They go on in their 70s. Even when the board has rules that says, hey, look, hey, 64, you cannot be the CEO no more. They had changed the rules to let them keep running the company. So my point being is this: even when they're not doing that, then they just take another role doing something else. Their lives as athletes are different. So what happens is this: y'all see an athlete get on TV after his career is over.
There we go. Talk
and
about
think it. That's what they all do. Most of them have no career after they leave the league. None of them.
Glad you compared to the CEOs because there ain't that many CEOs neither.
Are you out your mind?
Yes.
There are tons of CEOs. Are you out your mind?
I'm talking about successful ones.
No. Well, how do you define success?
But they ain't successful.
You out your mind. The person that's
about the MSNBC sports commentator.
The person that's running the convenience store that's there for 60 years. They the CEO of that company.
He ain't no damn CEO. Yeah,
you a hater.
He a CEO because of you
a hater.
You gotta sign one.
You a hater.
He ain't no damn.
You a hater. I know it. I know it and you know it, but you keep going to that corner store though, huh? Yeah, exactly.
I damn sure will go to that.
You definitely do.
Sure. Yeah.
But no, I just think that Tua, I respect his decision to keep going on. I understand it. I think a lot of people don't really put themselves in their shoes and understand that's their livelihood. That's their life. You see what happened to these players when they can't play no more? Dwight Howard crying, oh, I could still play. Cam Newton. Nothing wrong with Cam. Like, honestly, Cam Newton can be a backup quarterback somewhere. He like, yeah, I'm ready if they call me. They not calling. You see what I'm saying? Like, and Cam at least has a personality where he can generate money doing what he's doing as a commentator, etc. Most players cannot do that, sir.
He's pretty sharp.
Most players cannot do that. So after studying a lot of like very successful people, what I found is that the way we judge things is very interesting. And the way I understand the athletes, I get it. You guys got to retire at 37. I can understand how you don't want to quit, Vince Carter, at 41. I can understand. You know what I'm saying? I can understand why you keep trying to get 22 seasons in, because after this, you don't know what your life's going to be like. So I get it, because a lot of people don't want to admit it, but most people are their jobs. See, most people don't have an identity outside of the work that they do. And most people will live their whole life with their identity tied to their profession. See, I'm not my job. I'm who I am. And most people are their job, directly tied to who they are. They haven't figured out how to separate that. And I get it. So when you see these athletes who are not necessarily the brilliant minds of the world, they are so tied to their job. That's their identity. That's why they say basketball, my life, football, my life. That's why this is my life. The thing that you do for your profession is not your life. But unfortunately, we can't convince people otherwise. So it is what it is.
That's a great point, especially when there's something so prestigious. I need some water. You know the word I'm trying to say.
I know.
Like a sport, or like being a doctor. That's how come Doctor Strange turned into a goddamn magician, because he's like, I am a doctor And I'm gonna have to figure out. And I seen this guy, he did some magic, and all of a sudden he could use his hands again, and it turns into a whole goddamn Marvel magician. So yeah, I get that. So some people, when they have such a high standard job, and that job is a representation, that's where they get their goddamn respect from, is that thing in front of their names. And that's how they become a sports content. I'm Super Bowl MVP, 11-time All-Star, blah, blah, blah. And that's how I could be a commentator, even though I don't really know what the hell I'm talking about because I got CTE and I'll keep falling on the floor. He ain't going to be able to talk. And it's going to be all your fault. He ain't going to be able to talk when he turned 36.
You need help. Okay, let's get into the next segment. 49ers, Packers.
Damn.
Yeah, 49ers, Packers. We have to cover it because I have a question here, sir.
Good game.
You think it was a good game?
It was fun to watch, yes. I believe it was fun to watch. Jordan Love looked pretty solid.
Let me get the audience the bullet point stats, okay? Green Bay took on the San Francisco 49ers, okay? Green Bay won the game 38-10. Brock Purdy was injured, and it left MVP candidate Christian McCaffrey to lead the team, okay? Brandon Allen stepped in as quarterback. He had a pedestrian 17 for 29, 199 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, okay? Christian McCaffrey was shut down, okay? 11 carries, 31 yards, 2.8 average, okay? Horrible. George Kittle was a glimpse of hope, 6 catches, 82 yards, and a touchdown, okay? The 49er defense was just getting shredded. Jordan Love, on the other hand, had a decent night, 13 for 23, 163 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Josh Jacobs was the player of the night, 26 carries, 106 yards, 3 touchdowns on the night as the Green Bay Packers destroyed the San Francisco 49ers. My question to you, sir, G-Ville, what up, bro? Do you believe Jordan Love is an elite quarterback?
Oh, elite quarterback? Damn, that's a good question. Shit. A good elite? I don't see him being elite yet. No, I cannot say that he's elite yet. I think he's a good game manager. I think he's going to have glimpses of being this elite quarterback, and he could be talked about. However, at this moment in time, I cannot compare him to the top 10 quarterbacks in the league, in my opinion, even though he might have the numbers to back it up. But with my eye test, when I watch him play, I'm not looking at him as the top 10. I think I could easily probably name 10 quarterbacks that's remotely better than him just off the top of my head, possibly. So, no, absolutely not. He is not an elite quarterback. He's not better than Russell Wilson. Absolutely not.
You out your mind. He is way better than Russell Wilson. He is immensely talented. He has the prototypical type frame that you would want. 6'4". Okay, he can see over the offensive line. He can make all the passes. He has a monster arm. Okay, he's athletic, moves well in the pocket, has a good feel for the game. The only downside to him is that he believes he can make every pass that exists. That's his issue. He just takes too many chances. You know, he is actually Brett Favre. So
wow,
a better like a more athletic version of Brett Favre.
You call me bad take? Come on.
How good do you think Brett Favre is?
Come on. Brett Favre is easily considered one of the greatest quarterbacks ever. He's in the conversation.
Is he considered one of the most accurate? Is he considered one of the most accurate quarterbacks of all time?
No.
So the point being is my comparison is that he's a gunslinger, that he just takes too many risks. The same thing that they say about Brett Favre. Okay. So don't get me wrong. I'm a huge Brett Favre fan. Okay. I know his game very well. He was the MVP king before the MVP kings exist. He was winning NFL MVP every year. Okay. So trust me, I know him very well. But I'm saying as far as the risk that he's willing to take to throw that ball up there, that is what I see in Jordan Love. He takes too many risks.
Jordan Love is not better than Brock Purdy. Stop.
Jordan Love is better than Brock Purdy.
Stop. He is not better than Trevor Lawrence. Stop.
He is Definitely better than Trevor Lawrence.
He ain't better than no Derek Carr. Stop.
He's 10 times better than Derek Carr. That's not even a question, sir.
And even though I don't have no proof behind this one, he ain't better than Jaden Daniels neither.
He's definitely better than Jaden Daniels, sir.
You tripping.
He's better than Jaden. I like Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels has the it factor. He has a touch on his passes. I watched him play. I like him, but I have Jordan Love ahead of him, sir. Now, the thing about Jaden Daniels is he has the prototypical type height. He's 6'4". The problem is he's a small guy. You know what I mean? He's a very small guy. He doesn't have the frame, so that's his downside. But if he can get that figured out, I think he's going to do really well in the league. But I don't think he's going to dominate the way people thought he was because he was completing such a high percentage early on in the year. I just don't believe it. Let me see. You got some pop culture we need to cover, sir?
I'm kind of still stuck on this Jordan Love thing. But also, hey, before we even get to the pop culture thing, I got a question for you. How do you feel about the NFL taking over Christmas Day?
The NFL always played on Christmas.
No.
Yes.
No. Absolutely not. Christmas Day is for the NBA.
Oh, no. I'm sorry. I'm thinking about Thanksgiving. My bad.
It's
My
okay.
bad.
Right after that bad take, I can understand. You just gave a horrible take, and so therefore you're trying to keep going down the trend.
I know bad take. Bracy ain't trying to say I gave a bad take. Jesus Christ.
I'm just saying, I thought that was interesting that the NFL finally stood up and said, you know what? F that NBA. Y'all going to have to work a little harder. Not only that we are going to get Beyonce to perform, we also going to do it on Netflix as well. We're going to turn this thing into a whole event. So they got the NFL on Christmas Day on Netflix with Beyonce doing the goddamn halftime show.
I think that
the NBA be on notice.
Well, I actually did not know that, so that's a good question. I would say this. I think that what people have to understand is that this is a business, and that in order for the players to get paid more money year after year, they have to grow the franchise. And there's only so many more things you can do. They obviously added another game. That was to get more money. And now they're adding dynamics to how many games you play during the week. You see what I'm saying? So they're shifting as much as they can. So my thing is this. I think it's a really smart idea. It's a great business move. People don't want to not have nothing to do. Most people ain't doing nothing on Christmas in the morning. They want to watch the games. They want to be with their family. Usually the players try to get those days off. They be trying to get those days off in the contracts, but obviously they wanted more money instead of getting the days off. So that's what took over. First of all, the NFL has always been number one. The NBA has never been ahead of the NFL. I don't know if y'all got some fake news going on.
No, but what I'm saying that they used to play nice with each other. Y'all take Thanksgiving.
No, that's fair. No, that's extremely fair. But I think it just happens because it falls on a non-Sunday. If Christmas was falling on Sundays, the NFL will be playing. A lot of Christmases just don't fall on those days.
Thursday as well.
Exactly. So it's a strategic thing that they have to do. Netflix is obviously the streaming leader. What they're doing with how they do sports, it is very different than everybody else. They are doing the most lucrative sports positioning, meaning they're taking the prime time days, allocating the money and generating as much money as they can from those days. They don't want every game. I don't want to pay for every damn game. You think I want to watch the Cleveland Browns take on the Chicago Bears? No, I don't want to pay for that game. So they're being very strategic on how they run their media company, while legacy companies still have to shell out their dollars and pay top prices for all those dang games. So that's all that's going on.
Yeah, I think the NBA they're gonna have to do some restructuring. It's sad that the NBA can't let LeBron James go for sure now, because I do not know a star that's in the NBA right now that could carry the NBA at all.
That's not the problem. The problem is storytelling. So right now, right, if you look at the NFL, the story, what is the main story today?
Saquon Barkley.
Saquon MVP, right? Right. Mm-hmm. What is the main story for the NBA right now?
Possibly LeBron James, triple doubling.
Nope. We don't have a main story for the NBA, so they're not writing storylines well right now. Part of the problem is Embiid is injured, so they're arguing about his health and all that kind of stuff. There is not anybody behind LeBron to take the torch right now. Jason Tatum does not have the star likability. He doesn't capture an audience like that. You know what I'm saying? So because they have no story, they're not able to develop and captivate the audience how they used to. They used to be like LeBron, KD, going for number 5, Splash Bros, all these things. Now we have such like an open concept of who can win the championship. The storytelling is not working. We haven't really holstered what's that boy in Minnesota's name? Anthony Edwards, right? Mm-hmm. He didn't play well enough in the Olympics to get the torch passed to him. So now the spotlight is still not on him. They still weighing and leaning on LeBron. No one has taken the mantle. And because no one has taken the mantle and LeBron hasn't slowed down enough for them to punk him for it and write the story for it, they're struggling with it. It's similar to Wall Street and how we talk about it when we do our Market Sundays. Like, there's no storytelling there. And I think that's the biggest problem. Man,
it's kind of true. It's kind of true.
It's not true. That's not funny. But actually, Harden's playing pretty decent this year.
He actually is.
Given everything that's coming.
People don't even know that they got a new stadium and a new logo.
Yeah, like
they got a new logo. I seen them. Remember when I was like, "Who the hell? What team is this?"
Yeah, that logo.
Like, that's the Clippers. I was like, "Oh shit, I didn't even know."
Yeah, that logo is weird looking. It is very weird.
The main problem is Giannis is another person that's supposed to take over the league, and they just not figuring out a way to write his story properly.
He's not in a big enough market. See, that's what y'all need to understand, right? When it comes to storytelling, like now, don't get me wrong, LeBron definitely made the league come to Cleveland. I don't believe Giannis has that type of capabilities, but then we also have to point out something that is not going to be comfortable. Giannis is born where?
Of course, that's a problem.
He's not LeBron. He's not from Cleveland. He's not from Detroit. You know what I'm saying? So we want bred players here. That's how we write our story. So it's hard to give the mantle to an international player. And if you look at who the best players is, international players are high on that list.
Yes.
So we not
top 3, probably, right? Probably the top 3.
We can't write no storyline like that, sir.
And you know what? If the NBA is not careful, they're gonna turn to the MLB.
Well, here's the thing: we want Anthony Edwards to take that mode, and he has the personality for it, right? So
I don't know.
He does have the personality for it. He has the talent for it, but we haven't seen the jump. Ja Morant is a monster, man. He is so talented. His game is so smooth.
He messed it up. He messed it bad.
You see what I'm saying? It's a lot of players that just needed the storyline to be written about them. But LeBron James has proven he is the diplomatic one. He is the one, hey, yo, I ain't going to cause no problem. I'm going to carry this league on my back, and I'm going to do it with honor. I'm going to conduct myself well enough to make sure we take this to the next heights. You see what I'm saying? Nobody else is operating like that.
Bad, but Rand fucked it up bad. Like they was writing him in as you taking over the league. They pretty much wrote it off. And all he had to do, the only thing he had to do to seal it was, first of all, of course, not get caught up in the BS that he got caught up in. But the other thing he had to do was just dunk on LeBron. You get one dunk on LeBron, the way how you jump and dunk the ball, and that's it. The crown would be passed to you. They would have took that crown on the set.
There's a lot of factors. Here's the problem. There's no next LeBron. See, when LeBron was coming to the league, we knew what was going to happen. The storylines was written. He's rated as the chosen one. The magazines everywhere. Let me tell you something that is also very, very important that most people don't know. I watch college basketball, right? Mm-hmm. Nobody talks about college basketball anymore.
No.
Like, if ESPN's not covering it,
damn.
If nobody's covering it, one of the top 3 teams today got knocked off. Do you know which team that is?
Duke.
No, Duke plays tomorrow against my Jayhawks, and they're gonna get that work. So
I thought Duke was your team. That's why I said it.
Yeah, that's fine. The point being though is the team got knocked off. That their coach was supposed to go to the league and coach the Los Angeles Lakers. So the point being is we have no storylines. We have no great major talent that is next in line that we can service to the people. We think about it like this. College is not in a great place. Nobody talks about the college league like that anymore. Nobody's talking about an outstanding young player at all. There's no prospect. Even Cooper Flagg, who's rated number 1, is not talked about much, even though Duke lost to Kentucky already. They're not talking about these players. You see what I'm saying? So the young players are not taking over. They're just not, sir.
Well, I mean, also the last 3, like Granville just said, the last 3 messed it up. RJ Barrett, who cares where he playing at? Nobody even knows. He's another one where we don't even know where
he's in Toronto.
At. Right? Nobody talking about him. Zion, stay injury prone. His biggest news report is he's injured. Yeah. And then John Morant, he just messed up himself because he just couldn't get out his own way. All he had to do was dunk the ball on LeBron, and they would have gave him the damn ring. Especially when he went and he created the storyline. They asked him, who do you want to dunk on? And he said LeBron. That was like, woo! Especially when Bron fouled him and everything. And then Bron was smart enough to even antagonize him when he did that reverse dunk on the Grizzlies and he won the game. And he went over to him and he pushed him like Bron knows. Yeah, I know you next up. Let me antagonize.
Here's the thing that's different.
That's crazy.
Here's the thing that's different than the NFL and the NBA, right? I'm gonna give you this take so people can understand. In the NFL, people like their team. In the NBA, people like their player. It's a very distinct difference. That's why NFL will remain supreme, because we love our teams in the NFL. If a player leave our team, we don't care. We like, it's still our team. If your player leave your team in the NBA, you might go to that team with them. Well,
I'm faithful, so I'm going to stick with my squad.
You know him for cheating. So look, everybody knows, right, that's the biggest difference in the league. That's the biggest difference in the league. So with that being said, the NFL is a very different type of league. And if you look at the NBA right now, there is no player that we want to win besides LeBron.
Shit, that is 100% correct.
Who else do we want to win? We're not saying that who do we want? Who are we cheering for? You see what I'm saying?
Hey, we upset that Joker might win another MVP. We're like, hey, SGA, you got to do something this year, bro. Like, look, Joker about to win another MVP. That's boring for
them. But look, this is the thing.
To be honest, him winning another MVP or even another championship is pretty boring for the NBA.
Well, they're not going to be able to win another championship. So the one thing I noticed, because remember the Nuggets destroyed the Lakers last game. The Nuggets are the Lakers' kryptonite. The Lakers are playing so well this year. They're much better, much improved, and they just cannot beat the Nuggets. For some reason, the Nuggets have their name. They got their card, man. So because of that, it's just like, I mean, like now we don't believe the Lakers can win it all because like they run up against Denver, they losing. But Denver doesn't have enough to beat Boston. It ain't even close. Boston.
And then the East Coast is horrible as well.
Well, the champions, well, like I said, it's open, but we just don't have the storyline, sir. Like, even if you look at my Rockets are playing extremely well. Extremely well. We don't have the mega star for people to focus on us right now.
Correct.
We got some young stars, kind of like how Boston was, but just not on that level yet. Mm-hmm. It's just there's no storyline, sir. We cannot. So that's the biggest problem.
The rivalries are done as well. There ain't no such thing as a rivalry in the NBA.
Yeah, no,
it
isn't. It's a bad time for the NBA right now. Like it's so bad. People ain't even talking about games. People only talking about football right now. Whenever I have a conversation with somebody, oh yeah, the 49ers, oh they trash. Oh, your Eagles doing well. Okay, yeah. But forget those Cowboys. You know what I'm saying? Like it go like that. Nobody. You might talk about a little Steph game because the Warriors is number one, but other than that.
And that's why I believe that this move of the NFL taking over Christmas is a big, bold move, saying like, "Hey, little homie, we might have to do we might have to run this a little longer, get an XFL, and put them under the wing too, and take some more of y'all TV time because y'all ain't doing a good enough job, clearly. And towards y'all playoffs, like then that's the only time people watch. And the NBA, they got to figure it out. They need to figure out. They need to talk to the management. I don't know. They got to figure out better teams because Damian Lillard, like, it just ain't connecting properly. Get Giannis over to where he needs to go because him doing it in Milwaukee, I mean, it's kind of messed up to push a player up out of there so he could be in a major market. But you're gonna have to figure out something. You have to figure out something. You are either that stop going overseas and picking up these players because y'all are gonna turn to the MLB. The reason why nobody watches baseball anymore, sad to say, is because it ain't no white boy the top goddamn baseball player. It's always some goddamn Dominican. And guess what? This America's football is not gonna be promoting Jose Canseco and and whoever Reyes and Martinez. They ain't gonna promote them like that. And sorry to say. This is America's sport. But here's the thing: see no goddamn Dominican, the head of.
Well, hold on. Let me check on Granville. I hope Granville. I hope you feeling better, bro, man. I know you wasn't feeling well, so I hope you feeling better. I appreciate you being here. This is my question to you: do you believe that the NBA will figure out a storyline this season? Will one develop and they're able to run with it?
Oh, this season, this season it's looking real shaky. Even when they tried to do the whole Steph and Clay thing, that couldn't stick. They tried it. So, no, it just didn't stick. This season, who else is there? I don't think so. I don't think they're going to figure out unless players start really playing really strong against each other, start fouling each other hard, like on some goddamn like some Indiana's and Detroit type situation. People just start playing some real hard-nosed basketball. I think it's a little too friendly, and that's another thing that is hurting the NBA. Is no more rivals. We should at least have some rivals. Not enough teams have seen each other enough as well is another problem. That's a problem with the story writing, because at least if Philadelphia and New York was seeing each other going back and forth, we beat y'all this season, and then we beat y'all that season. You've been beating the same team every season. Like, even when Trae Young, he trying to do it to the Knicks and say, no, they're not going to figure out. They are not producing enough of the players to be on the floor enough. And they are not creating the storylines. Atlanta Hawks versus New York Knicks should be a storyline, and it's not. Every time Trae Young goes to New York, boo! It's already built up for it to be a storyline, but they're not capitalizing off it. And Trae Young is a big enough play and Atlanta is a big enough state where it's good enough rival to say New York versus Atlanta. But y'all ain't building the storyline up. I don't know what's going on with they meant to. It's mind-boggling to me.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't call it, man.
Like, you should be building Cleveland up against Boston Celtics. You literally that should be your buildup.
Nobody want to talk about Cleveland. Even if you pay me, which I ain't getting paid. I don't want to talk about Cleveland. So have you noticed Cleveland is not in any of our segments, sir? I've never put them in our segments.
I tried.
You did try, and I cut it out. I said, cut it out. You better cut it.
I try to let you know that Spotty Loke is the same size as Dwayne Wade, playing just as spectacular. He's going through the floor. He's driving. He's hitting big shots. He got Garland playing out of his mind. And you like, nope. I don't want to hear that.
I've been watching sports long enough. I know if the Cavaliers are real or not, and they not. They not. Like it is what it is. Look, I'm taking all bets. I'm taking all bets. They're not winning the championship. Every single Cleveland Cavalier bet, I'm taking it. I don't care. Whoever it is, y'all hear me? Y'all want the smoke? I'm taking all bets. Cleveland Cavaliers are not winning the championship. Every bet, taking them all.
And I think what they need to figure out is how to create a storyline with LaMelo with Charlotte. I understand it's a small market, but he's scoring out of his mind. You need to start figuring out. You need to figure out how you could build up maybe LaMelo versus Trae, because they both young, light-skinned, and they both talking up shit. Hey, you need to figure out how to get those two, because the West Coast, I don't see nobody damaging nothing on the West Coast, to be honest.
Nobody want to see that. We still want to watch.
He's not shit talking enough.
We still want to watch Steph. We not trying to hear nothing about no LaMelo Ball that's playing for a pointless franchise that ain't accomplishing nothing. We definitely don't want to hear about the Atlanta Hawks. They ain't doing nothing, ain't going to be nothing, ain't said nothing. We don't want to hear nothing about them.
But here's the thing. What I realized, right, is that like even though back in the days we knew the Cavaliers had no shot at winning anything when Mike was playing with Mark Price, when they had Mark Price and all those boys, like Cavaliers was going to the playoffs every year. And people was like, hey, they a tough team. Like, at least they still talk shit about them. Like, hey, they one of the top teams.
That was at the barbershop, sir. We got social media now. It's like when people get as old as you forget because you got that Alzheimer's disease, the Dimers thing. Like, you forget that we ain't at the barbershop no more. Like, we didn't already talked about that game, sir. We didn't talk about it live. We chatting back and forth. Like, did you see that 3? And then we moving on up to the next game, sir. You need to sell us a story, a player, a dream, and we ain't getting none of that. So that's what the problem is, sir. Like, even Drake versus DeMar DeRozan didn't take off.
Damn, yeah, that shit didn't.
It didn't take off, sir.
And this whole Draymond thing, grabbing the ankle, nobody cared about that.
Nope, nobody cared about that. It's
something about the feet doing the whole calling the referee a BAN and put a finger on his head.
Yeah, he shouldn't have done that. Yeah. Fred VanVleet shouldn't have done that. As a Rockets fan, I understand because I was watching the game. I thought some of those calls was a little BS, but you got to conduct yourself as a professional at all time. I know emotions running high, but like I said, he's done some great things since he's been here with us. But I do believe we should trade him.
Ooh, I know you want to trade him.
I think we should trade him to the Lakers because next year I don't think he's going to start. I think we're going to have our young gun starting.
Damn. That'd be nice if he do go to the Lakers possibly, but that was at the end of the game. It didn't make no sense to me. The game was over.
I didn't understand the logic either, but when emotions running high and you've been wanting to say something, you didn't say nothing. That's probably what it was.
He put a whole finger to that man's face and call him a BAN. Hey, shout out to the ref. He just kept it moving. He's like, man, I ain't paying you no mind. That just had to give you that fine. I'm buying my damn bed. So shout out to the ref for not escalating it more. But yeah, they are finding a hard time to get people. Well, in the NBA Cup should be a lot bigger too. They need to. The problem with the NBA Cup, right? They was trying to write that as a storyline. The problem is that they're not putting nobody against each other again. Still, they still not creating enough.
Nobody understand the damn cup thing. Even I don't. When you was telling me, yeah, you only get the Group C and the Group A, and they don't group together unless you touch down and they sit A and they game it. Bro, I'm like, man, first of all, you don't really win nothing. You don't get no home field advantage, and nobody really cares because if you win that and then you don't make the playoffs, what difference does it make? It's kind of pointless to me. They try to drill up some excitement. That's probably why the ratings is down because we tired of that BS. And then we got players sitting out. Embiid injured. Paul George is injured. Kawhi is injured. KD is injured. All these players is injured. We ain't got no rivalries. We can't it's just bad so far, and the ratings are down. According from what I understand, the ratings are down.
It's probably the same as last year, but it's just
no, they're not. They are down. I'm literally telling you, the ratings are down, sir.
You know what it is? It's because the WNBA. They took over. That's
why. Oh, yeah, the WNBA took the ratings of the NBA because, like you said, the men are the one that carry the sports. But now we go and watching they stuff, huh?
Yeah, and it's more exciting.
No, I don't know what it is for the league numbers to be down right now, but it's something to look into.
You need closer games. You need more competitive games. Hey, if you was all right, how about this? I want to give you a quick challenge. Think on your feet. If you was to help them write a storyline, what would you go with to try to build up?
That's a really, really good question. I need a villain. I need a dream story. So obviously we have to sell a team that can win. So the way I would write it up is this. unfortunately, a lot of these injuries hurt everything. But I would obviously still ride it around the Lakers, which that's what they're still doing technically. And I would talk about how the Lakers are now Anthony Davis's team, right? LeBron James need Anthony Davis this year to carry him. I would talk about there's no rivalry. I can't think of nothing because KD is out. But to be honest with you, I don't know if I could without a group of staffing or whatever. I don't know if I could write one right now. I don't see anything. Like Zion can't play because he just overweight. There is no player that is. The only thing I can write is Jason Tatum versus Anthony Edwards if we can get them to beef or something like that. But
I think you got to do something with the New York Knicks.
I could see that the Knicks get it rumbling. They're trying. Yeah. They trying, but even the Knicks is playing decent lately.
Yeah, I think they need to figure out New York Knicks is a great Cinderella story, like you said. And I think they need to find a way to clash them with the Milwaukee Bucks. You need to clash them against Giannis or some of that nature. But the team is not doing well enough. So I think that's the real issue with that kind of storyline. I'm just thinking about like what storylines could even be beneficial, right? It's like I think the New York Knicks in the Bucks.
Oh, you know what though? I will. You know something I did not think of until just now? The election. I did not realize last year we wasn't talking about the election. So that's probably what's taking so many views away. That's probably what's taking so much of the storyline telling away because we've been so focused on the election. I actually think that's probably what it is. Now that I think about it,
that's a strong possibility. Yeah,
it's the only thing that makes sense.
And I think you need to figure out a way to get the Los Angeles Lakers versus Golden State Warriors as a storyline. Two of the dying breeds, the last of the dying breed with those two guys.
All right, let me tell you this: we don't know who's gonna win the championship. That's the problem. Normally, we know who's gonna win, and we talk about it's them versus the field. Maybe this team could knock them off. There is no clear-cut winner besides Boston, and people iffy on that. People is iffy on that.
And you don't like the Oklahoma City versus Minnesota storyline?
No, Oklahoma City to me don't have enough.
Damn.
Like I keep telling you, when's the last time a regular team with just a regular player really won? It's usually the mega stars that win. Like, think about it. It's mega stars winning, sir. We ain't getting no average team with a decent player winning. You need a mega star. So
yeah, and without KD, Phoenix is doing horrible.
Yeah. I had KD as my early front runner for MVP this year before he got injured.
Yeah, and they definitely need him to even write the story. Like if you're making a valid point about the injuries, though. The injuries is really cooking them this year. Ain't nobody playing, and these other players, nobody knows about them. It's just what it is. Even the ones that do have sneaker deals, like Ant-Man, people still don't know who the hell he is. Still, it's weird. It's what I'm saying. They're like, I was like, oh, Ant-Man, he be who? And then plus he's always shooting so many threes. They got to figure something out. And the All-Star game is horrible.
Yeah, the All-Star game is horrible.
They're switching it up every year. Like we just got adjusted to this whole you score up to this point. And as we take off the clock, and now you switching it again. Come on.
Yeah, I think the politics got in the way, but I think the league will get back to writing well, and we'll see what happens.
Sounds like a job opportunity.
No telling.
How do you get paid to write the storyline?
Writers for the league? Yeah, I'm sure they got writers. Yeah, I'm sure they got writers. They use the media primarily, though. They use the first takes, and that's why they have those deals and all those things. And they use FS1, the facility, Fox News. They use everybody to generate the buzz. They have a media team, so yeah, I'm sure it's all of that. I don't know. But Sharon, we've reached the conclusion of the hot seat. Nobody joined the hot seat because Sharon didn't drop the link because he's having one of those days, guys. Okay?
I did. I didn't. Maybe
You didn't drop the link. That's why nobody got this smoking.
No, I did drop the link. Liar. It's
Let me
pinned to the top of the damn my chat.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough.
I wasn't slipping that bad.
I thought they was just
you having one of your bad takes today. It's okay.
I ain't had no bad takes all day. I got the best takes people ever heard. It's the most fun they gonna get. That's why we do this show. But yeah, we'll be back at it. I don't know what day, because we busy.
So we'll see y'all when we schedule it.